What's up, you guys? Joe Dobby here. I am now a Deck Out Gaming affiliate. Use Joe Dobbs Deck Out at checkout. Deck Out Gaming has tons of singles for Pokemon, Dragon Ball Super, and Digimon TCG, as well as One Piece. They now buy list as well, so don't hesitate to reach out, and they got your back. Really high customer service ratings. Thank you, guys. And yeah, let's get to the video. What's up, YouTube? It is Joe Dobby here with a Minervamon list for you, courtesy of the boy Adrian, aka Riplungs, who managed to place 5th in Mario's seasonal invitational championship tournament. Very high quality competition because you actually need to get an invite to join through his regular weekly circuit. So introduce yourself, Adrian.
What's up, YouTube? Adrian here, aka riplungs. Thank you for having me here on today for this profile.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. And if you don't mind, we're probably just gonna get started here. So please take us away, starting with the eggs.
All right, so we're playing 4 Minervamon, your standard egg for the purple deck. For any Minerva deck, draw 1, trash 1.
Perfect.
And then for the rookie lineup, we play 12 rookies. I like the 12 count for that consistency. For Gabumon, the best rookie to get that draw power in.
I agree.
For Ignitemon, I like the 4 Ignitemon. I know some lists run 3, but I prefer the 4 again for the consistency. And then I know a lot of people might argue with this, but a lot of people are saying that floodgates are bad this format. It's not worth running it. I personally disagree. Maybe it's because it's purple and purple can fit in the floodgates. So I do like the 2 Gazimon, 2 Psychmon just for the memory block and for the matchups like Blue Flare and Hunters. And just in case Crossheart as well. Yep.
So guide us towards. So I actually agree with the floodgates. So I think I like this very, very efficient, streamlined rookie list because you're gonna consistently get Ignitemon and Gabumon, which are the key rookies in the deck. And I like the ability to just drop Psychmon and Gazimon with Minervamon or Mervamon whenever you need it. So I think that's a very good rookie lineup. So yeah, feel free to dive into the level 4s.
Alright, so the level 4s, I kind of switched it up. I'm actually trying out the promote package.
Okay.
I haven't used the promote package since Lilith Loop days.
Yeah.
A lot of people might notice right away that there's no Icemon. I'm not playing any Icemon. I decided to use the promote package just to try it out because just for the mid-late game, when you're discarding your pieces, the promote package can actually do something late game. So we do have 1 Kinkaku, 1 Ginkaku, and 1 promote.
Yeah.
And then for our retaliation package, we're playing 4 Dark Lizardmon. We're not playing any Icemon. We want to have that consistent draw power. And then to end off the level 4 lineup, we're going to be playing 2 1-cost Devimon blockers. I personally love the 1-cost tempo plays. And it comes up a lot, especially against your Hunters matchup when you need defense and you bring out your Minervamon with Devimon. And they need to decide either to tuck your Minervamon or tuck your blockers. So just in case you still need that defense, I personally really like this card in this meta.
Yeah, so I was actually surprised to see no Icemon as well, but do you find that the Dark Lizard, Gabu, and Demimera stack is generally enough?
It generally could be. The good thing is we do play our level 5 lineup that basically still get that draw 2. So worst case scenario, you can just swing with the Cerberusmon, but the Icemon do apply early pressure, which is something that this deck could potentially lack.
I see. I do like the 2 Devimon though as well, because there's going to be a lot of this in this meta, and moving forward, Searcher rookies are going to be Digimon that are just going to be regularly played. So if Digimon or certain decks drop these Searchers, that's usually a free check-in security. So having that blocker could potentially thwart that until you get into your Cerberus. And this Devimon turning into a Cerberus is usually, I'm assuming, a really good, it's almost always the play typically, right? And then you go into Cerberus.
Yeah, the best feeling with the 1-cost blocker is if your opponent is going first and if they give you 3 or 4 memory, you can just instantly go into your 5 and choke them at 1, or you can go into your Minerva just off that 3/4 memory.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful card to use, actually. Love that. All right, so take us to the level 5s, which is pretty much the simplest ratio in this deck.
Just the only level 5s that are good for this type of deck. We're running the Wolf package, 4 servers and 4 servers Mon Wolf mode.
Let's go.
Last format for BT11, I was running the 3 and 3, but I decided that maybe the deck could use that faster, again, consistency, that speed, and just being able to see the wolves faster. It has been pretty good. It's just pretty good to be able to go into your wolf turn 2, get that cycling going. So yeah, I run 4/4, no Chimeramon, no Lucamon. That's pretty much the only other level 5s that these type of styles of Minerva decks use.
Very nice. I do think that, you know, just going efficient with the 4/4 is pretty good. So guide us to your level 6s.
Okay, so we're playing one level 6 that worst case scenario you can go into, but it's more of a toolbox option, which would be your Nidhoggmon. We run that one Nidhogg just for that extra memory gain. It does feel good to be able to use this card when it's your opponent's turn and they're swinging into something that you have on deletion, and that one memory could potentially pass over turn and win you the game.
Yeah.
And then other than the Nidhoggmon, pretty standard, you're running 3 Minervamon, 3 Mervamon. That's just what I personally feel like is the best way to go to not get your hands too cloggy. If you did have to pick one of the other, to which one would you bump up to 4? I would say it would be the Minervamon, just because Mervamon you would just trash it and it's already there engraved. So yeah, the 3/3 is pretty good.
Makes sense. Were there opportunities where you had to hard drop Minervamon in a game?
Yeah. So one of the best ways when you hard drop Minerva is usually like after you already bring one out with Minerva and you gain that memory off the Ignite, you might have some Jack Raids in your hand, so you can just pretty much swing for 3 to 4 checks in one turn. Jack Raid, you're at 3, hard drop Minerva. They might have a Tamer. If they have a Tamer, that's perfect because they're going to go to 3 years away. And now you have 3 blockers that they have to answer to, and you just apply that pressure.
Yeah, you were able to swing for 3 checks and then have 3 blockers next turn. And assuming there's Digimon from the first Merva that survived, you've got that number of bodies to deal with for next turn as well. So they're more likely to swing over those guys than to swing into your security, right? I'm guessing?
Yeah, exactly. And then just how you said it, they have to swing over my guys. So if my Dark Lizardmon doesn't die, they're going to have to either sacrifice one of their bodies with that retaliation, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a huge swing play, and it doesn't really matter at that point when you are gonna gain memory and then hard drop this for what could be 7 memory, right? So very good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. One thing to note is if I did have to add one, I would definitely add the Minervamon, just because there were some games where seeing that Minervamon early it could be like detrimental, but the 3 is fine for now.
Would you say that the deck could potentially benefit from having one Soulmon just because of the Shine Greymon Ruin mode, where if you drop Soulmon alongside like the Dark Lizard, both of them end up being 6k, protecting themselves from the neg 5k DP that Shine Greymon has? That's what I'm doing right now in my Merva list.
Yeah, so I did see that you were using Soulmon, and I personally do like Soulmon. It's not only good against that, but also I guess for your hunter matchups where you could survive, you know, either a Tamer or now your Soulmon's gonna hit for 8k. And you're still applying that pressure. I definitely could see you see that card be using in the deck, but I would have to at least run like 2 to 3. I definitely think.
Oh, you would run even more, eh? Just so you could stack the DPs. Oh, I see.
At that point, that's even more beneficial to use Chimeramon, because now your Soulmons are swinging for 8k in any matchup, which is still pretty good. Right. And then Chimeramon is just even better to use.
Yeah. Like if they survive, then you just Jogress and swing again.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds awesome.
Which is broken. It's an extra hit. Exactly.
All right, so we got the 1 copy of Death Xmon. How often did you actually have to use this card?
So Death Xmon, I've only used it 1 time in the entire tournament.
Okay.
And it's just kind of funny. The 1 time you use it, like it wins you the game.
Oh, fair.
For the most part, the only other time it was actually useful, which I guess is really good, is a Blackboard Greymon player was swinging into my security at 14k DP. Got got rid of their stack. So
yeah, I mean, at the very worst case scenario, Death X is such a bomb in security where like if you are not at the DP, you're done. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and usually the decks that suffer from that are the decks that are one stack, one like swing, right? So if they hit that one Death Xmon there, that's just unlucky, and I think that's it's never bad to have, I guess, if you have the space, right?
Yeah, I guess it makes sense in purple, just because also worst case scenario you could evil for 6 into it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I did have like a lot of conversation with my friends talking about whether or not to cut this card, just because just in some matchups it's kind of useless, but just for how strong the card is, I just felt like, you know what, since I'm playing purple, it's I should just run it at 1.
Makes sense. All right, so we're diving into your Tamers and options. So start off with the Tamers here, if you don't mind.
So we're running 3 Analog Youth. I think this is the best deck that abuses this card. Such a strong card with the wood package. It's an automatic gain 1. So if your opponent leaves you at 1, you're for sure going to 2. You have that Jack Raider Nidhogg, you're going to 3.
Exactly.
No matte Tamer. I know a lot of purple players or other people who don't generally use purple tend to use the matte Tamer. But me personally, I feel like it's too much memory to give. I like just the 2 costs. Also, since purple decks they literally don't have any like rookie searcher compared to other decks. And you could use purple memory boost, but for this deck, I like seeing my cards in the trash. Don't really want to risk it. So Analog also does an awesome job in doing that.
Perfect. All right. So guide us through the options here.
Option card, my favorite card in the deck probably, Jack Raid. Gotta have the 4 copies. You could run 3. There were times where I was testing 3, and there were just so many times when I was testing, I was like, oh,
you miss it.
4 Jack Raid. You just miss it right away. So 4 Jack Raid's the way to go. Such an awesome card in security. Wins so many games. And then we have that self-destruct package. We're going to be running 2 Pandemonium Flames, 1 Deathclaw, and the 1 Calling. 3 of those cards will be enabling our Minervamon just in case they have 3 bodies on the board. We can get rid of 1 of their bodies to use our Minervamon effect. I feel like these cards are mandatory. You either have to be running 2 Deathclaw or 1 Flame. But for sure you have to at least run 3 cards that can destroy something on your opponent's side. And then to round off, I'm sorry, go ahead. No,
you're fine. I was gonna say, like, apart from this, there's a ton of other self-destruct cards like Revive from Darkness. So that was a really popular card to play. What are your thoughts on that, and why did you cut it from your deck?
So I love Revive from Darkness. I think that card you would have to run it as a 4 of, and there's no problem with running 4 Jack Raid and 4 Revives, or you can mess around with those ratios, 4 Revives, 2 Jack Raids, some Pandemonium Flames. But I think ultimately what made me just go with this was the security defense, right? Like, you're just playing at this point too. If my security can save me, my security saves me. And Jack Raid does come up, but if an opponent's at 3 memory, that's not going to save you.
Exactly.
And there were just many times where Deathclaw, it comes up in security, Pandemonium Flame, and that body comes in to pop. So that's probably just why I chose to go this route. But I do think for Revive from Darkness, that deck, like that, to run 4 of those, you would just have to dedicate your deck to run the whole loop.
I agree. No, that's a very good point, because then you turn into something that's like super aggressive, where like you don't really have any outs in security. You either get the combo down or you get rushed down. So I think that's a very nice pivot and a very good thought process towards it.
Yeah, but you also can't run like a lot of people do think that the Merva defense is good enough, but there's a lot of different decks that can just get rid of your Mervamon and then you lose your whole defense. You still could have that Devimon, but just having the Mervamons and then your security to depend on is really strong defense.
Sweet.
And to finish off the options, this card I'm testing it. I've never used a boost card in like any of my loop decks. I do like the 2 Miss Memory boost, and I'm loving this card just because for these 2 matchups, which I think are the top 3 decks in the format, which would be Blackboard Greymon and Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
It felt really bad having analog in those matchups where they could just either pop the analog, Blackboard Greymon, or
For sure.
Hunters can tuck your guy underneath your Tamer.
Even Machinedramon just pops out all your analog.
As well. Yes.
Yeah, it's a really tough matchup.
Like, you know what? Let me test Miss Memory Boost. Let me test the card to where they can't even interact with it.
Mm-hmm.
Those decks don't even run memory blockers. Maybe the Machinedramon player will be running Chumon, but I mean that's not likely. So they still can't interact with my memory game. So in those matchups, I've actually loved this card, just being able to play that Miss Memory Boost, knowing like it's not gonna just pop my analog, a waste of a play. Or they can't tuck my Minerva underneath my Tamer. So 2 Miss Memory Boosts to finish off the deck.
Sweet. All right. So I love the choices. I love the thought process behind all of them. If you could go over your experience with the deck at the tournament and your matchups, just briefly, that would be cool.
Yeah. So my overall tournament experience was really it was really fun to play this deck.
Yeah.
It's so strong. I have high confidence with all my matchups. The worst matchup being with this deck is Bloom Lord. Personally, I would have to say. But I don't think a lot of players are running Bloom Lord at the moment. I think, the majority of players are going to be your Blackboard Greymon, your Hunter, Machinedramon, and I think that this deck just has a really good matchup with all those decks. Even your anti-meta decks like Blue Flare, you have Shine Greymon coming out recently.
Yeah.
All these different type of decks, and I think this deck overall just has a good matchup with all of them. So I took that into consideration into the tournament, and the first round I went against I believe it was Hunters.
Yeah.
So Hunters I think is an even matchup. The Psychmon does come up a lot in that matchup. You just have to know when to play it.
Yeah.
And if you can rush into your Minervamon, a lot of players will assume you're gonna bring out a body when they play a body with your Minerva. So if you just play it right, you can win that matchup just with that aggression.
Yeah.
And then I went against Blackboard Greymon round 2. Blackboard Greymon, again, another 50-50 matchup.
Yeah.
You can play around their big stacks, swarm out their field, and just apply that pressure, and they can't do anything with your memory game.
Got it.
Round 3, I played another Hunters matchup. Same thing. Psychmon came in clutch.
Yeah.
The Devimon blocker came in clutch because I was at 1 life. And the player tucked my Minervamon underneath, I think it was like my other body, and he was like, swing for game. And I was like, okay, I have Devimon. He's like,
blocked.
I forgot that was a blocker. Yeah, blocked.
Yeah.
That was just awesome.
Because it's unusual to play blockers in purple now, besides like the Minervamon cards. So people might forget that there's Devimon, Vilemon, all of these are blockers that exist in purple, right?
Yeah, so that came up awesome.
Huge, yeah.
So again, Hunters just a really 50-50 matchup, but your Wolves being able to survive security checks is what helps you balance out their tempo versus your tempo. And then round 4, I went against that new Omnimon deck. Yeah. Super cool deck, super fun. I think Gazumon wins you those games pretty easy.
Yeah.
If you lose to that deck, it's probably because you weren't able to blow up one of their stacks. Because I found out that I can just get rid of one. If I just keep getting rid of one of their bodies,
they have to keep trying to get another one because they need to get 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Gazumon and then your Deathclaws and Flames are awesome in that matchup.
Yeah. Pandemonium Flame especially.
Yeah. Pandemonium Flame, super strong card.
Yeah.
And then I made it into the top 8.
Nice.
Finished first in Swiss, and I played against the Omnimon player again. We took it to a game 3. Game 1 was pretty quick. Game 2, I made a major misplay, which cost me the game.
Oh no,
Always got to be careful when you want to swing with your Minervamon, because if your Minervamon gets destroyed, you lose your attacks. If you can play it safe, or if you have to apply pressure, you really have to know when, because just stuff like that can just cost you the game with this deck.
For sure.
And then game 3, unfortunately, I bricked, and he was able to bring out a level 7, which this deck doesn't have really an answer.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Other than your retaliation, since they don't have protection in that deck.
I don't think it does, but the worst part of it is if you swung into that Omnimon, it gets to spit out 2 level 6s.
Yeah.
So that is hard to deal with.
Yeah, so unfortunately I break that third game, but it was still overall I had a fun time with the tournament.
Awesome.
Definitely got a good like meta taste. Blackboard Greymon Hunters, and I was seeing other matchups. You know, that's pretty much what the meta is. So I think I made the good meta call. I think if I wouldn't have misplayed, I think I definitely could have won the tournament.
Very cool stuff, man. Congratulations for placing 5th. How many players were there, just out of curiosity? I know it's by invite, so...
I could be wrong, but I believe it was like 22, 24.
22,
like
24 players? Yeah, so those are like the players that have won each like circuit and earned their invite, right? So you can expect
some other names in there.
Yeah, so you can expect some top tier competition. So congratulations on that 5th place.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing more tops from the Purple Master as well. You know, we're all out here just trying to test Purple, make it the best color that it can be for the game. And I love learning just as much as I like showing out my profiles too. So thank you so much. If there's one piece of advice you can give a Purple player in this current meta, what would it be?
One Purple advice, I would honestly have to say, if you're gonna use, Minerva or Merva, do have that energy where you believe this deck. Anyone could argue that this deck is the best deck in the format. Like I said, you have a lot of outs to a lot of different type of decks. The toolbox aspect of the deck is so strong. So just use that deck, have that mentality where you know this deck can win any matchup, and just keep practicing with it. You keep practicing with Purple, and that's how you eventually just get better with the deck.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing this deck profile, and congratulations again, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Peace.